Welcome back in one of the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channels. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, and we've got some more college football to talk about today. Only one game. We did have the postponement of Notre Dame going up against Georgia. It is a member play, so I'm not going to break that game down. We're going to be looking at Duke going up against Ole Miss. Before we do that, let's take a look at the plays we had on Wednesday on the New Year, January 1st. Texas going up against Arizona State. Texas looked like the much better team. Early, Arizona State fought the entire way. Cam Scadaboo, unbelievable player. 100 receiving yards, 140 rushing yards, passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. He did everything in this game. Arizona State, so close to beating Texas, but Texas in overtime, double overtime, takes the win. Heartbreak for Arizona State. Texas did not cover the spread, although it did look like they were going to cover the spread for the majority of the game. Arizona State, fourth quarter, came back and dominated Texas for the most part in the fourth quarter. Winning prop in that one was Cam Scadaboo over 99.5 rushing. Then this Oregon-Ohio State game, my goodness. I don't know if anybody could have predicted that. I did think Ohio State was going to win. I thought they'd win by, a touchdown, but 34-0 in the first half, 31-0 in the first quarter or whatever it was. That is this Michigan loss. The Ohio State losing to Michigan has broken their brains. All they see is red right now. So I think Ohio State is a wagon. 41-21 right now, 2 minutes left. They're going to win this game by 2.5. They're going to move on. Jeremiah Smith had his over receiving yards in the first 2 drives. Will Howard, once again, if Will Howard continues to play like this, if he continues to throw these darts, Ohio State's going to win it all because the defense is incredible. If Ohio State can move the ball, they're winning it all. So another great performance. Took down Tennessee easily. Took down the number 1 team in Oregon very easily. Really was never a game. But let's move on to Duke. Going up against Ole Miss, this is not going to be a game, I think. I am going to side with the Rebels. I'm taking Mississippi in this one, minus 17.5. Lane Kiffin on Twitter, on social media, giving the committee some crap about leaving Mississippi out. To the committee's defense, 3 lost Mississippi. You lost to Kentucky, LSU, and Florida. All you have to do is not lose to Kentucky or Florida. Just win one of those games. You're in the college football playoffs. I understand that Mississippi kind of has a point, right? Because clearly they're obviously going to be a better team than what we saw with SMU. Arizona State might have beat this Mississippi team with what we saw in the fourth quarter against Texas, but teams like SMU, Boise State kind of, even though Boise State played a hell of a game against Penn State, especially after Penn State came out hot, I still think Mississippi probably would have been the better team in that spot, but I'm not mad the committee left him out. I think Mississippi fans will probably be mad, but you know what? Your coach is fighting at the end of the season, trying to get in a bowl game. He should have fought against Kentucky and Florida. So no excuses out of Mississippi. I do think they're going to try to win this game by 1 million points, and they have a very good opportunity to do that because Duke, they are going to be missing their starting quarterback. That's Malik Murphy. He's in the transfer portal. They have their backup quarterback, Bellin. He has 1 attempt this season for 7 yards. Did play a little bit last year. Won a game last year for Duke, but he's kind of a dual-threat quarterback, just like Malik Murphy. And Malik Murphy's not all that good, so if you're sitting behind Malik Murphy, that means you do multiple things wrong. I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of turnovers in this game by their young quarterback. Also, Star Thomas, not sure if he's going to play in this game for Duke either. He is questionable. Don't see him on the transfer portal out, but looking at the Duke website, they're talking like they're going to be playing without Thomas in this game. So if Malik Murphy's out, and Thomas is out, the next highest guy on the depth chart, or next best player, I should say, for the offensive side would be Jordan Moore, the senior wide receiver, but he didn't have a quarterback to throw to him. So no rushing attack for Duke. No, they've got the receivers for the most part, I think, but no quarterback for Duke. Ole Miss doesn't have any transfers. Everybody stayed. They're going to put up a big number in this game. I think they're going to try to show the committee, look what you missed out on. Look what you missed on. We're going to put 50 points up on this Duke team. They're going to complain after they win this game by 40 points that they should have been in the college football playoff, and you know what? They shouldn't. But I'm going to take them in this game. Lane Kiffin, I think he's going to come out and make a statement. I'll take them minus 17.5. I think that's a pretty good bet there for the player props today. We are going to stick with Ole Miss, and mainly because nobody for Duke I can trust. I'd love to take Jordan Moore. Maybe you take him for a touchdown. He might get a punt return or something, but I can't trust this quarterback. We've only seen him throw 1 time this season for 7 yards, and if you're sitting behind Malik Murphy, you've got bigger problems than just, throwing interceptions or fumbling the ball. So I can't trust Duke in this game. I can't trust Jackson Dart of Ole Miss to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I do think he's going to throw for 4 or 5 in this game. Jackson Dart all season long has been an absolute monster for Ole Miss. 3,875 yards, 25 touchdowns. closing in on 4,000 yards this season. He's most likely going to get it. He was not very impressive in the last game of the season in the Egg Bowl going up against Mississippi State. I really think it was just Mississippi State coming off of a loss to Florida, bounced out of the college football playoffs. Nobody was really up for that game. Everybody was kind of, just dragging their feet. They still beat Mississippi State by 14, but that's a really bad Mississippi State team. That was a bad game for Jackson Dart, bad game for Ole Miss all the way around. Had a couple weeks now to collect their thoughts. They're going to come out in this game, play like we saw them play against Georgia, against Arkansas, against LSU. Some competitive games, some of these games where Jackson Dart went for 300-plus yards and 3-plus touchdowns. I think he will have a field day going up against Duke. I do think Ole Miss puts up a big number in this one, so I'm going to take the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And because I think Jackson Dart's going to do well in this game, I'm going to take the second leading receiver on this team to have a big day as well. It's going to be Kaden Lee. And I don't know if we're going to see Trey Harris in this game. So if Trey Harris is out, he's not in the transfer portal, but he's been missing several games over the last, 2 or 3 weeks because of his injuries. He had that big catch against Florida. He went out with an ankle injury. Hasn't seen him since. He might elect to have surgery, might not. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him, but for right now, he's questionable coming in. If he does not play, that's 1,000 yards that Ole Miss will be missing in this game. But Kaden Lee has been a very good replacement. 49 catches, 817 yards, 2 touchdowns. And with Trey Harris not on the field, Kaden Lee has been the go-to guy for Jackson Dart. He's had multiple games this season with 80-plus receiving yards, multiple games this season with 8-plus targets. So I'm going to take him in this one going up against Duke over his total receiving yards as the final play. Let's go to the recap graphic. We are going to be taking Ole Miss minus 17.5. Not going to do the Notre Dame and Georgia game because I gave it on the members side. So we'll talk about it after the game's over, hopefully on Thursday, if there's no more attacks, scary stuff going on in New Orleans. And we're going to take Jackson Dart over 1.5 passing touchdowns and then Kaden Lee over his total receiving yards as the final play. Guys, it's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Thursday, January 2nd slated games. So you guys enjoy the content. Please share this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.